So I'm practicing. I'm going to use one of the guys that was killed was my E7, my NCO, Trey Ponder. This one's tough. He's a good friend of mine. And he was on the ramp when that RPG came up. And I was going to be his pallbearer. And our young captain comes running, Al, put the casket down. We got a survivor. Okay, right? So someone else takes my spot. I come in and like, yeah, Marcus Luttrell. We got his beacon. You know, we had his not ISO prep, his, what's the pointy talkie with the American flag, blood chit, right? So we got his blood chit number. So we've authenticated he's there, his beacon. We've got an ODA moving there with Afghans. And the ODA you never hear about, but they were the first ones to get to him and secure him. And he had been taken in by a local, I don't know the guy's name, whatever that law is of the tribal Afghans, right? Where if you ask for help, they have to give you help. So he did, and he stood up against the Taliban for that. And in the meantime, we got to come get him. And so he's secured. I think the Rangers walked into him as well. But the ODA was the first ones there. And so now there's been, over the course of this couple days, there's been A-10s overhead, the Sandies, the H-860 Blackhawk, the Sara birds came up from Kandahar. They're flying around looking for, indicators and or signaling. And so I walk into the big jock, and there's a corner where the SAR operation's being planned. There's a PJ in charge named Tom. And he says, yep, here's where he is. He's in this building at the base of the hill. We don't know too much about it, but he's sort of secure, but the Taliban has surrounded him, right? And they're demanding he come out, and he doesn't have a sufficient force, even with the ODA because it's not even a full ODA. It's just a couple guys and a bunch of Afghans. So I'm like, all right, I'll go get him. And they're like, well, you can't. We're going to bring the 60s in to pick him up because they can't go to the top of the ridgeline, and you can, and they can make it to the base of the hill in the terraced fields. I said, we'll fit on the terraced field. Let me go get him. And they said, the guy, Tom, he's like, Al, we still have missing men. We need you to bring more Rangers in to help with the search. The longer we search, we have to supply people, and, the enemy can continue to come. So we've got to just get this done. Let the 60s pick them up. I'm like, they can't do it. They don't have the performance. They'll crash. And they go, nope, they've stripped the aircraft down. No guns, no armor, no extra equipment. It's just a flying freaking, shell. That's got some balls to do that, let me tell you. And I said, okay. No, I'm going to do it, right? And then Tom goes, all right, Al, they can't go to the top of the hill. We know that there's only about a 20-minute window between thunderstorms. You're not going to bring guys in tonight? Fuck. There's no choice here. I have to let the 60s do it. Okay, but I'm planning the fucking mission. And the 60 guys like, you got it, right? Because, this is our AO, and they're from Kandahar, which is kind of flat. So I figured this sequential exfil where we would, once again, you got to come in from this one angle, 2 different valleys, and the other one's no good. So I went and I spoke with the AC-130 crews and the A-10 crews. Like I sat down in the mess hall or wherever it was, some tables like that. I said, guys, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to bring the 60 in this way. He's going to have to stick to this low terrain, so he's got one way in. I said, he's going to come in. I want the AC-130 to shoot here on the templated enemy positions, and the A-10s to shoot just when he's like 2 minutes out. I want you to drop the biggest freaking ordnance you can on this ridgeline over here where they can see it. I want flames. I want whatever you can do. I don't know what munition you're going to use. You figure it out, but here's my desire. I want, when the AC-130 shifts his fire so that the Black Hawk can fly past, I want you to grab their attention long enough for him to pass the AC-130's line of fire, and the AC-130 shifts back and covers him again. And so this is all happening. Last round in the air, that's how close we get this. And then he picks them up. They turn around. They come back out. Same exact thing happens, just in reverse. He gets out with Luttrell, and then we lift and shift again. And now I come in with 2 Chinooks, but I come in from the direction nobody else can come from because I only have the 2 Echo models. And come out of the clouds. I'd literally pop out of the clouds. There's a landing zone. We put them in, and we turn around and go back out of the clouds. It was like a symphony.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was perfect. It all worked. Everybody did what they were supposed to do. And then, you know, he got away.
Wow. Man, that's impressive. And I didn't realize that the exfil of pulling him out was that dynamic. You know, I thought it was more static or less crazy than that. I mean,
yeah. Well, if you ever get a chance to look in his book, he talks about the exfil, where he's like, wow, these bombs were exploding over here and shooting, and it's like, oh, it was amazing. And damn right it was amazing.
Yeah.
You know? But you know, the interesting thing is I've tried to talk to him for years just to say hello, and we just haven't been able to connect.
Yeah.
So if anybody sees this and knows him,
Yeah.
tell him I'm trying to say hi.
You know, it's strange, maybe interesting. I still have not read the book or watched the movie.
I won't watch the movie because I know there's a lot of errors in it.
Yeah. I just for me, I don't. It's weird. Like I've read other books about different parts of some of the wars we've been a part of the last 20 years. For some reason, I just can't. I can't fucking read it or watch it yet. I don't know. I mean, I will at some point. But
well, you know what is interesting? So I'm at Oceana Naval Air Station at the Oak Club one day, right? And I'm with a guy who's an air show promoter, and he's got the military helping him, and I'm assigned to help him. And he's getting to know me, and I talk about the Luttrell thing, and he's like, no, that was an MH-60. An H-860 picked him up. The Air Force did it. I go, yeah, they did. But I led the whole operation. And he's like, oh, no way. He goes, I know the Air Force pilots because it was in Air Force Times. They never said anything about the Army.
Yeah.
You know, it was Air Force. And I'm like, oh, God. And he's dialing them up. He's like, if this guy doesn't, acknowledge that I was part of this, my bona fides are gone, right? And I'm not getting any more drinks. And he gets him. He says, hey, I got the MH-47 pilot that helped with the Luttrell thing. He's, oh, that son of a bitch. Buy him a drink. Don't let him get thirsty.
Yeah.
That motherfucker was awesome. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's wild. Can I ask you a ridiculous question?
Sure.
When you mentioned about dropping the fuel and the flares, would it be possible, I'm sure it would depend a little bit on the terrain, but to use that as an offensive weapon, to dump fuel and then drop flares or chafe on it and ignite it? Could you do that?
You probably could. Yeah. I mean, I have, because when you're dumping, you can manually jettison the flares. I have used flares as a weapon.
Yeah.
You go Winchester, the miniguns are dry, and people are still needing trouble. You can whip on in and kind of hit the right angle and pop the flares. It'll at least get their heads down.
Yeah.
It won't hurt them, but it's going to be and hopefully the ground force can maneuver.
But if you dump gas and then did another racetrack and dumped flares
I think that would be too far back. I'm not sure that it would work. I mean, I've seen it in a movie.
Yeah. Well, it must be true.
It's got to be, right?